Hey everyone, this is Ultra Runner. Welcome back to the channel. Just going to share with you guys a little bit what's going on, and also um, do like not really like a top for 2025, but just kind of go through all the pickups I have for 2025, which I did pick up several. So, but I guess I'll start with the easiest thing. Um, I've been away for a bit because I had surgery on my voice box, and it's been deteriorating over the last probably 2 years. And it's pretty funny some of the comments you guys had. Probably one of the funniest one guy said I sound like sea spray, which is actually kind of funny. But yeah, there were some issues going on in my voice box. They had to go in and do some work on it. Surgery was like 3 weeks ago, so I'm still recovering. But I wanted to kind of try to get this out as soon as I could, and then kind of walk through this a little bit with you guys, and then from there we can just kind of we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if I'll be putting out a lot of content or a lot more content than I was before, but just because having to deal with this piece here. But I just wanted to kind of at least go through this piece for you guys, and then just kind of see, as a collector who just started collecting Hot Toys this year, how many I picked up, and which quite a bit. I started going through it all, and then we'll sort of kind of go through why I picked those up and what the collection is going to look like kind of moving forward. So, no further ado, let's get started. So, for total pickups this year, I actually had 42 figures, um, which is crazy. I did sell off my 12 scale to go to 6 scale. So, I sold off a lot of figures, being hundreds of figures, mostly Mayfex and imports, a few Black Series. Well, I mean, Black Series, you really can't sell those things. They're not really worth anything other than a few models here and there, or a few characters here and there. Um, but when I did, I decided to go and convert to Hot Toys, and then I kind of did like a lot of new Hot Toys figure collectors. Just started buying up everything I liked, and so I picked up Snowsuit, um, Black Widow, Black Panther 2.0, Jango Fett, Scarlet Witch, Endgame, the new one, Sculpted, not Artisan, the 2099 Across Spider-Verse, Spider-Man, and then the Bad Batch, and then Phantom Menace Mall. And so all those characters, those figures are gone now. I didn't keep any of them. And part of the issue was I didn't know how I wanted my display to look, and really what I wanted it to represent. And I decided I wanted to be very succinct. And so that required me to do a lot of curating. So I'll go over this more in another tour, but if you look at the way my comics are up now, the left side over here, these four are DC, and the rest of them are Marvel. Or if you look at the top shelf, this top shelf is Marvel. DC, underneath the DC comics, and those two shelves over there are Marvel underneath the Marvel. So that's kind of want to do that way. So the shelves are going to kind of have a theme. So Marvel, DC, left to right, and then you've got Clone Wars, Ahsoka, 332nd versus Maul over here, and Mandalorians, and I have another Mandalorian coming, and Savage. On the left here, you've got Ahsoka and the Jedi, well, Ahsoka basically, and then Balin, and then on the side here you kind of have Anakin and Luke, and then over here you've got Boba Fett, and then this side here you've got Boba Fett in a, I guess, perfect world, my head canon. And then down the middle, you've got probably my centerpiece, Caps, which, other ones coming along the lines. And then this will be my BVS option. And then this will be, I don't know what's going to go here yet, but I do have the Arcane figures coming in. So I just put the steel books there just to kind of have them out and visible. But yeah, so, like I said, 42 figures I picked up this year from second week of January or first week of January through I think my last figure came in and was, man, what was the last thing I got in? I think the last thing I got in was BVS Superman, which was last month. So pretty busy year, but so I'll start over here. So Cyborg was one of the figures I picked up this year just because I wanted to do a whole Justice League setup. What I've decided to do though is to basically have a DC shelf here. So I'm gonna just pick up just the ones I really like. So I've got um, Artisan Harley Quinn coming in, which I really like that figure. I'm going to get the InArt Clark Kent and Superman, and then I'll probably have one other figure here, but I'm going to keep this to like two or three. So, and I'm a big fan of Zack Snyder Justice League, or Zack Snyder in general. I mean, if you can't tell by the BVS up there, but that's kind of one of the things I wanted to do is have a setup for it. So I decided instead of doing the whole team, I'm just gonna do there, and then if NR decides to do like the black suit Superman and the tactical suit Batman, and I'll end up doing something that later and finding more and moving stuff around. But as far as right now, this is kind of where that shelf's going to be. It's going to be all DC as it's coming in. But right now, that's it for him. So the other figures I got this year, technically it was two of the 501st Deluxes, and I have them loaded out to 332nds, and then Captain Vaughn, and then Rex. I got Ahsoka last year, and I really, Ahsoka is my favorite Jedi, and I'm an old guy, so I'm old enough to have seen Empire Strikes Back in the theater, as a kid. So, but I was really enamored by the Clone Wars. I think it was such a great way to give backstory. And so because of that, I wanted to build out, my favorite Jedi and her team. And that just looks so great. So those were 4 characters I picked up this year to accompany Ahsoka. Now these are all new releases. So the other ones are releases already. They are out. These are like just pickups for me. Whereas these 3 here were all 2025 releases. This Ahsoka the White is, honestly, one of the best Hot Toys figures I think I've ever put my hands on. And I've got, several that are relatively new. Balin was okay. I think they didn't do a good a job with him as they did with Shin Hati, but with his head down, kind of looking like in a solemn look, with his sword down, his lightsaber down, looks pretty good. This Padawan Ahsoka, hands down, one of the best figures as well. They did a great job with her likeness, and the figure is great. I've had them pose since I got them, arms bent and no issues at all. Go down here. I've got the Arena Suit Boba, the Empire Strikes Back Boba Deluxe, and then the Deathwatch Mandalorian. Those are all pickups from this year as well. I'm not surely sure what to do with the Mandalorian, but this shelf is going to end up being a couple Bobas. Probably, I'm hoping they'll do the prototype Boba, the all white one, and then maybe even the Kenner, and those will go on the shelf too. So, but that's what's going to go on that shelf there. It's going to be pretty much just Boba Fett's. I have them down on the bottom just because, I've got a display specific to Boba, but I wanted to make sure that some of the other characters are more elevated on the shelf. So we'll go dead center. So dead center, first Hot Toy I ever got, but this was in 2023 when I was not collecting Hot Toys. I just saw this figure and I got a really good deal. I think I got it for like $200. Did I get it used or brand new? I can't remember. But I got a really good deal on it, so I got him, and he was like the only Hot Toy I had. And then once I converted, I just kind of wanted to find a place for him. But as you guys know, Chris Evans' Cap is my favorite. Captain America is my favorite Marvel character, and live action is definitely Chris Evans' version of it. So I wanted to have the Cap, displayed. I used to have him over here with the wings out, but I wanted him to look more like a centerpiece, so I've got him a little bit elevated. So he's kind of on the box right now in an extra Star Wars base because I'm just trying to figure out what height I want him up there before I actually get either make blocks or get custom blocks for it. But he was older. But I did get the in-game 2012 cap this year, and that's with the, you can see that's lighting up. That's actually a fusion reactors Loki scepter, which I actually had done. It was pretty cool. The guy's awesome. And then the worthy cap in-game scale mail, and which everybody loves. Um, he was also a pickup this year. Found him brand new in my local comic shop, which was awesome. So my first InArt figure, which is BVS Soups. I know a lot of people has this guy. I do have the Wonder Woman on order, and as soon as Batfleck goes on order, I'll have the three of them on the shelf. This will be my DC Trinity shelf, which is can't wait for that because I do love that movie. Like I say, I'm not a DC fan. I'm really not a Batman fan or Superman. Always a Wonder Woman fan from the Linda Carter days, growing up watching her. But Zack Snyder actually made me want to watch a DC movie because I've never seen the Dark Knight trilogy. Not even remotely interested. Don't like the look of the suit. Don't like the look of Christian Bale. I mean, Anne Hathaway, of course, looks amazing. I may still pick up that figure, but never liked it. I never was interested in it. I say just I'm not a Batman fan. I'm not a DC fan. But Zach's take on this made me actually want to let's give it a shot. And like I say, I love it. Just Zack Snyder's Justice League, incredible. So love it. So I can't wait to have the shelf built out. It'll just be the three of them on this shelf, trying to keep everything pretty spacious and well lit. So, and then down here, like I say, this shelf right now is empty because I don't know what I'm going to put here down the road. Because everything else I'll have on order has a place. So I just put my steelbooks for Arcane down here for season 1, season 2. I do have Jinx and Vi on order. So as soon as those come in, I will be getting those. Those will be coming to the house. For my top shelf, Infinity War Thor, Ronin, Kid Bash Cap, Concept Art Cap, and in-game Black Widow or all pickups for this year as well. I already had Tony. Tony came in like the last week of December last year along with Ahsoka. Oh, I'm sorry, actually 2012 Cap. I got him and Ahsoka, Clone Wars Ahsoka, and Tony all came the last week of December. So 2012 Cap is not 2025 pickup. So he's not one of the 42 I picked up. So these guys are great. I wanted to have a representation of the Big Five. Hopefully the Big Six if they do a 2.0 of Hulk, because I'm not gonna reverse collect him. He is not worth it what they're asking for, and I know as soon as I do it, they're gonna probably do a new one. And I've been very blessed to basically be able to collect now where there's so many 2.0s coming out. So my guess is just looking at the new trailer for Doomsday, we're gonna get a Thor in this suit or a variant of the suit that looks updated. So I can't wait to get that. This is my favorite Scarlet Witch. I do like the new artisan version, but that hairline is, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to just see. Maybe I'll look at it later on. This Hawkeye is awesome. The likeness is pretty good. And, I just, like I said, I wanted to have that Avengers team. Like I said, one of the days I'll hopefully get a Hulk. And then this is probably my favorite look for Cap. This is the concept art, and this is actually with the 2012, I'm sorry, with the in-game scale mail Cap head sculpt on it. I got this from actually the idea from Jet Patrol. And I tell you what, that figure is amazing. And this is actually the die-cast millionaire that come with Infinity War Thor. So again, one of my favorite ones. But you've seen my collection tour. You've seen that before. Now I feel about that. But that is a 2025 pickup. Got a couple of new. These are 25 releases as well that I picked up. The the Mandalorian Super Commando Captain. And this is the concept art mall from Star Wars Celebration, with the 2.0 Phantom Menace mall head sculpt. So I bought him, literally bought the mall, and then took the head sculpt out and sold the kit because I just wanted the head sculpt on it because I wanted one mall, and this is the one I'll get. Now, if they drop a Clone Wars mall with the robotic legs, I will pick that up because that is my favorite look. But this guy will still have a place, and I do have Savage and another Super Commando captain coming. Well, the Super Commando captain's coming next week. But Maul, I mean, hopefully Savage will be released in the next few weeks. It's kind of weird that a lot of stuff has been released and he hasn't come out yet. These are also 2025 releases that I picked up. You've got, of course, you can see, telling by here who this guy is. The infamous Darth Vader Sith Apprentice from Star Wars Celebration. This is the one with the slipcover. I did get this from an attendee in Japan. No regrets. Part of collecting is getting stuff that really nobody has, and from people who collect Transformers and old vintage Star Wars figures. Like having slight variants of it really does make a big difference, and for me, it was worth it to have something that was super, super, super limited. Yeah, the new Mustafar is the exact same figure, but it's not really the same figure because the eyes are a different color, and the base is different, and the lightsabers come in different, so it's fine. And like I say, I know I have no regrets with it, some other people that, have regrets about their pickup. The dual and effect Vader, he's the only Vader, well, I guess he's the only Vader in suit I'll have on display. Love the cell shading. I'm a big Gundam fan, so this was right up my alley. I do have Let Customs is doing a custom cell shading Ultra Magnus for me, or Fans Towards Marge. So that'll be out. Hopefully, I'll have that sometime. I guess it's gonna be like 2027. But yeah, I love the cell shading. So this was a great pickup. And obviously, I wanted a Vader, and I wanted something unique. So my Anakin is unique as far as the look. My Vader's unique, and then for Luke, I wanted to look on the shelf, but I didn't want anything standard. In this Dark Empire Luke just was fit the bill. Love the way it looks in this Vader suit, coming with the two lit lightsabers, and I do get the sculpted version, which is light years better than the artisan. I mean, it's crazy. But the one thing I'll tell you is, like, my artisan Anakin, or Darth Vader Sith Apprentice, his hair is perfectly fine. Like, I have not done anything to it. I haven't touched it up. I haven't done anything. I took him out of the box, put him on the shelf, and it's been absolutely perfect. No glue stains, no nothing. I got a great copy. I'm very blessed that was the case. So. And then down here is the other pickups that I have for this year. I got 2 of the Chrome Commander Codys because I wanted them to be like an elite guard for Boba. This is like my whole, like, if Boba actually went the awesome route. Got Cobb Vanth here. Just gonna, he's technically, he shouldn't be in armor with Boba in armor, but I just like the way that look is, and he's got a kind of way he's got his stand in there. And of course, I got Fennec here, which is a great looking figure as well. And like I said, those are all 2025 pickups. I got the Boba Fett super cheap because he was part of that. I guess maybe the year before, or maybe it was part of the rotating discounts. But Sideshow had him for nothing. If you got spent some amount of money, so a lot of people were selling him on eBay for like $200. So, and I know it wasn't really desired, but for me, absolutely had to have him. So. And then the last few figures I have is over in the corner. I'll start with right here on the desk. This is Daimyo Boba Fett 6 scale. Had to have him. He's actually on the Arena Boba Fett suit. Arena suit Boba base. Just got wanted a little bit more height for him, but yeah. I want him in every. That's my favorite suit. So I think I've maybe mentioned this before, but this is my favorite suit look for Boba. So I want pretty much every version they have. So I kind of do. So for 6 scale, And then over here, I've got like the Tamashi Nations movie realization version and TVC. So, and of course, the other pickup was the 6 scale, the quarter scale, the deluxe version with the bass, the light up bass. Again, like I said, my favorite suit for him, my favorite look for him. So definitely had to have that. And then another one of those super discounted um, figure packs. This was actually the Tusken Raider Boba, and then I call him the Tython Boba. That's what Black Series call him. You know, when he got his suit on Tython. But these are two figures that are just stellar, and you know, with Boba Fett being my absolute favorite fictional character of all time, you know, I pretty much want every variant of him I can get, and they've did a good job. I love the Tamora Morrison version of him. I do have, you know, a couple Mayfix. So I have the Mayfix Return of the Jedi over here next to that signed picture, and then I have a German Bullock, and then I've got the Mayfix Empire Strike Back. So, you know, I do have multiple versions of it, and I'll go over that in more detail when I do the room tour, but I just kind of want to show you guys the pickups for this year. Like I say, I had quite a bit. 42 is a lot. You know, that's a lot of Hot Toys I picked up this year. But, you know, the good thing is a lot of it was from money I used from buying or from selling the other stuff I had. And then what I decided to probably maybe around, I guess probably around early November, I really just kind of decided, okay, I really want to curate my collection and never go above what you see here. So I don't want crowded shelves. So even like the 5 here, they've got good visibility. You don't have to like move your head around or determine. And I'm going to use probably risers for the ones on the back row, just like I'm going to do here. So what's going to happen is these two are going to go up on risers a little higher. And then when Stealth Suit Cap and I got the Artisan Winter Soldier come in, they'll go right up front on their bases. So there'll be levels to it. Same thing like how I've got it here. Well, everybody's easy to be seen. Or it's a little more difficult when they're on the shelves like this because you don't have as much height to work with. So I'm trying to keep them as maybe 3 or 4 at the very most. You know, this one was much easier because with him sitting down, they're not blocking anybody. So it's such a great layout here. That's what I'm very, very happy with. Over here for Ahsoka and Balin, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep Balin here. If they drop another Ahsoka from the movie, maybe she'll go there, and I'll find somewhere to put him. I really wanted to keep him because, you know, Ray Stevens did such a great job as Balin. So, you know, I really wanted to have him. Didn't necessarily need Shin. Didn't really have room for her, honestly. And then down here will be all my Bobas again. So, but we'll see how it all pans out. But again, like I said, it's quite a few pickups this year. You know, I mean, if you've been following the whole setup, this is all changed and been modified. But like I say, quite a bit of Hot Toys, and don't have that many figures on order for next year right now. I'll do a separate video on that, but not a lot in the pipe that I really want to pick up, you know, because like I say, I'll finish out my DC shelf. I'll finish out my Clone Wars mall shelf. Maybe it'll be a figure or two coming, or maybe a figure over here, and maybe 1 or 2 here, maybe 1 or 2 there. But, and then of course this shelf here is really kind of undetermined. So, but yeah, just hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, I will have another video doing a room tour, probably maybe in a week or so when my voice is a little bit better. It definitely is feeling better. So I appreciate you guys and your concern. But yeah. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Catch you guys later. Peace.